Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Around the House. Today we're going to be cutting up some logs, and we're going to be using the Husqvarna 435, and we're going to go ahead and cut all those up, and then after that and we're going to go and split all this with a Champion 34 ton log splitter. I did a kind of like a open box review the other day. I didn't have to do any assembly. I got it at a box store. Now that I've used it, maybe a quarter tank of gas, if that. Just did some splitting of the logs. If you can see this little pile sitting on the pallet, just to get a feel for the log splitter before I get going. One thing before we really get started is this axle here holds 5 to 6 gallons of oil. First time I used it, I wore shorts. You really have to watch because that gets hot. So you touch your bare leg on that, you are going to get burned. So one thing that I have noticed is these yellow rails here that hold the logs in place after they're split. They are very handy to have, but with that said, they're not big enough. So on the fenders here, you'll have the reflectors, and I was splitting logs the other day, and they weren't really that big, but they were probably big enough. But it hit the fender and broke the reflector. So that was on day one. So so far I used about a half a tank of gas, so I ran in a couple hours, I guess. But it was a very hot day when I did it. It was 92. It's about 8:30 in the morning today, and it's going to be another hot day. So I'm going to get started before it gets too hot, and I'll start splitting up these, or cutting up these logs, and then we'll go to splitting them. And then I'll just go ahead and fast forward through all of this, as you don't need to watch me cut wood. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start this up. There's two little knobs here. One is fuel on, and that is going towards the back of the machine. And the other one tucked away here is choke, and that is the opposite way of the fuel on. I have a half a tank of fuel, so we're good here. And then I'm going to go ahead and full start it. It's the first time starting it today. And as soon as we get it fired up, we'll take the choke off. momentary rocker switch to turn it off. So I'm going to show you the vertical mode and how to do that. So you have a pin right here. Pull that out. Pull the pin out. Got a handle on the left side. Put it into the full upright position. And you put the pin back in down here. Then you're going to put the cotter pin back in. That's all it is to getting it vertical. So the idea of getting the bigger logs onto the base is just to roll them in place. Okay, I'm going to start it up. So I think one of the two problems, or one good thing about having it vertical, is you're not breaking your back lifting up logs to split them. This says that it could hold up to a 100-pound log. So obviously lifting a 100-pound log gets pretty heavy. But I think once you get them split into a manageable position, you split all your big logs in the vertical position, and then after you get them split at least once, then I would put those aside until they're all split, then put it back into the horizontal position, and then split it in the horizontal position. The problem is When you're in a vertical position, you're working bend over, and then that also hurts your back. The other thing is when you're running this in the horizontal position, all your scraps of wood will be sitting on a tray, and then you'll be able to put it into your little hopper, and it saves up some cleanup time. Not bad if you're using it in the woods where it doesn't matter, but if you're doing it in your yard like I am, then you want to get it cleaned up because you don't want to hit it with the lawnmower. Alright, and then I'll just show you how to go from the vertical position to the horizontal position. You're going to take out the safety pin on the other side. And then you're going to pull the pin. As you pull the pin, you want to make sure you hold this handle at the top. And you never want to have any body parts or a head or anybody that's going to be on the lower beam, because if this thing ever would fall, and it probably can, especially if you're not on a solid surface, don't have the wheels shocked, you know, anything that will happen can happen. So it's always best to make sure that nobody's in the way. Once it's in the lower position, put the safety pin back in. Once the pin's in, you got the safety pin in, you're good to work in the horizontal position. One thing I was pointing out when it was in the horizontal position, the wood tends to, after you split it and you have two pieces of wood on there, it'll tend to want to come off of this, and then it'll hit the fender. So I don't know, maybe I'll put some type of diverter here, but I think I'd rather hit the fender than hit the motor and all that stuff. So. Other than that, that's the only bad thing about the log splitter is that tray should be a little bit bigger and probably a little bit higher. So this is about with cutting all that big stuff that I did earlier, and this pile of wood. This is just about 2 hours worth of work total, even with cutting those logs down. I still have some logs that I still got to cut down. You know, you can see they're a little bit too long, and then doing logs like this, you have to do that in the vertical position, probably with that one there as well. But all these other ones, I did it mostly with the horizontal position. The only ones that I did in that vertical position was that demo, and I really didn't need to do that. But as you can see how I have this pin under here, and it's full of debris. This will be the first time that I've went ahead and emptied it today. But as you can see, there is a big pile of wood here. It's probably I don't know, maybe almost a full-size truckload. So it's starting to get really hot. I started at 8:30 this morning cutting the wood, and it's supposed to be 92 today. So I went ahead and put everything away, except for the log splitter, of course. You can see it there. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please like and subscribe. If you have any ideas, make a comment down below.